Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Tuesday, March 22nd, and this local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow you. The Flagler County School Impact Fees debate continued at the Flagler County Commission meeting last night, a meeting that lasted well over 5 hours. The school board had originally asked for a doubling of impact fees to meet student growth needs. However, developers and others balked, questioning figures used by the district. Flagler County Commissioner Donald O'Brien is one of those questioning the district's figures, which led to this exchange with Commissioner Andy Dance.
I disagree with the assumptions they made about the composition of the future population in migrating into the county.
Right, but then you should have data that supports the opposite argument. You should have data that says it's significantly less. So
I disagree with the formula. I'm making a judgment call that the projections that they used for student growth is not going to be what they projected it to be in terms of the composition of the population that's coming into the county over the next 1, 2, 5, 10 years, whatever it is.
right, but they didn't pull that out of the air.
Yeah, they use Bieber projections.
Right, which is fact-based.
No, it's not. It's an assumption. It's based on.
All right, we're not going anywhere. Thank you.
Yeah.
Though there was disagreement on Flagler County's projected student growth, the commission was able to make a deal. Flagler County Commissioner Andy Dance made a motion to approve the latest proposal from the school board with an addition.
Adopt the increase as written and as stated, which is 51% plus the increases, potential increases, plus that the county will coordinate a meeting in April at the working group, ILA working group meeting to discuss mitigation, modifications moving forward.
Commissioner Greg Hansen said the proposal is a good one because it's performance-based.
So if we go with this ordinance as it is, we do the 51%, and then if the population doesn't materialize, if the school population, then there's no increase. I like that.
As for the vote, the motion passed unanimously.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it, 5-0.
The Republican U.S. Congressman representing Flagler County talks about concerns over spending and its impact on national security.
6th District Representative Michael Waltz says he'd ideally like to see a federal balanced budget or at least a spending cut to get the deficit down.
Right now, the Democrats aren't even really what any household or any small business would believe to be a budget that you then operate off of and have to stick to. Folks don't realize in the federal budget, about 70% of it now is what's called mandatory spending. By law, we can't touch it. It just automatically grows. So until we can really tackle that and take that on, we're going to have a deficit. I just want to get it a little bit under control.
Waltz says the escalating tensions with China are exacerbated because they hold the lot of the U.S. debt.
Their theory of victory is not World War III. Their theory of victory isn't ship sinking in the Pacific Ocean. Their theory of victory is the United States imploding economically so that we can't afford to build the ships to even compete. So they're playing a long game and letting us drive ourselves off the fiscal cliff. And COVID, ironically, just accelerated that process.
Florida does have a balanced budget provision. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
It was a good session for our area, certainly. Big budget, that's a product of Florida doing very, very well, its economy.
Flagler County saw several wins when it comes to state funding this legislative session. The county is slated to get more than $19 million in funding for 3 major projects. Flagler County's state rep and speaker-designate Paul Renner, a Republican, serves on the Appropriations Committee to ensure the right projects are funded.
It certainly addresses some priorities, whether it's septic to sewer projects that are happening over in the Hammock, which are important to protect our waterways, to a major roadway right near where we sit, which is the Commerce Parkway over in Bunnell that will help connect the new sheriff's office, our emergency management folks, provide some economic development for Bunnell, and also the Ag Museum, which gets a big bump to try to improve and expand so we can bring more tourists through Flagler County and do more events there, more education for kids.
Renner says the state's budget is balanced without tax hikes and instead provides what he called historic tax relief.
whether it's Freedom Week that we have around the July 4th weekend or hurricane preparedness. We have one for tool time. So if you're a handyman or would like to do things around the house or do that for a living, you got an opportunity to buy those things, your tools tax-free. So a lot of great tax relief, fun tax relief for everybody this year. And overall, just a good budget.
From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
It was a busy end to spring break for Flagler County Sheriff's deputies.
Receiving 902 calls for service as Spring Break 2022 wraps up, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office was busy serving and protecting Flagler County all weekend. Deputies patrolled the roads and highways, making 205 traffic stops Friday through Sunday. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
Some of the highlights of the arrest was a seizure of 7 grams of fentanyl that can kill thousands of people, seizure of $2,900 in cash, and the drug trafficker's Corvette. Another individual decided to run from us during a traffic stop. He only went to jail tired and charged with additional crimes for fleeing burglary when he entered a home's porch.
Sheriff Staley also says this was an unusually busy spring break. We had multiple high-priority calls at the same time, but we were always prepared to handle them and ensured that we kept our community safe. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
How many people participate in SHIP locally?
Deborah Paradowski is Flagler County's housing coordinator. She said on a recent episode of the Flagler Voice that it's a lot, and for a specific reason.
We do get a lot of people contacting us primarily for down payment assistance, because I think most people equate SHIP with down payment assistance, although our focus is more squarely on fixing homes and rehabilitating homes and creating housing. But we want people to become homeowners, so we do sometimes have funding for that.
Paradowski said that with that in mind, Flagler County has several homes that are in need of repair, and that's where SHIP comes in. Listen to the Flagler Voice on Saturday mornings at 8:30 here on WNZF, anytime on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, what do the SHIP dollars do? From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.